long-term strategy for dealing with Russia. To understand the potential shift in U.S. foreign policy, it's crucial to understand Donald Trump's America First doctrine. This approach, which emphasizes American interests above all else, represents a departure from the multilateralism that characterized the post-World War II era. Trump's focus on financial gain and his skepticism towards international alliances caused concern among America's traditional allies, particularly in Europe. The America First approach manifested itself in various ways, from withdrawing from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord to imposing tariffs on allies like Canada and the European Union. Trump's critics argue that this approach undermined America's global leadership and weakened the international order. They point to the growing assertiveness of China and Russia as evidence that the world needs a more engaged and cooperative United States. Defenders of America First, however, contend that the U.S. carries a disproportionate burden in ensuring global security and economic stability. They argue that Trump's approach was a necessary recalibration of U.S. foreign policy to reflect the realities of the 21st century. The renegotiation of trade deals and the pressure on NATO allies to increase defense spending they maintain are proof that America First is not about isolationism, but about securing better deals for the United States. The phone call between Trump and Putin further fueled anxieties about the future of U.S.-European relations. While the details of the conversation remain unclear, significant pronouncements from both sides raised eyebrows in Western capitals. Trump's suggestion that Ukraine would eventually make a deal, and his downplaying of the possibility of Ukraine joining NATO, were interpreted by some as a softening of the U.S. stance against Russia. The Kremlin's response to the phone call was predictably upbeat. Eager to drive a wedge between the U.S. and its European allies, Putin has long sought to exploit divisions within NATO. The Russian president has repeatedly framed the conflict in Ukraine as a consequence of Western expansionism, accusing the U.S. and NATO of encroaching on Russia's sphere of influence. His recent phone call with Trump will likely embolden Putin, reinforcing his belief that he can leverage divisions within the West to achieve his strategic objectives. The implications of a potential shift in U.S. policy towards Ukraine are far-reaching. Caught in a geopolitical tug-of-war between Russia and the West, Ukraine is heavily reliant on U.S. support. Any weakening of U.S. resolve could have devastating consequences for the country, potentially encouraging Russia to escalate its military actions. Profound implications for the global order.